Hey guys, welcome to Sabri Zone. We are learning Laravel from scratch and this is lecture number 6. So without wasting any time, let's start our lecture. If you can see in the nav bar, if I will click on home or any of these three buttons, I could not navigate to my that page which shows me this blog or this headings. So to access this page, I need to create a link here. So we will go to our nav bar and I will copy this UL section. Let's copy this and I am going to paste it right below. First link I am going to change it to the post, and the second link I will change it to the post, but this time it will target the create function. So I will write here create, so that in the post folder it will target the create function, and what we want to show in the browser is create post. So I will write here create post. Let's make a space in between these words, and the first option will be blog. Let's save it and go to our browser and refresh it. Okay, great. Now we have two other links. If I will click on create post, it will take me to the create post, and if I will go to home and I will click on blog, it will take me to the blog section. Okay, it's working properly, but I want to add another class which will be navbar right, so that we can see these link on the right side of the blog. Okay, nice. Now it is working. So the thing which we have to do is to do on this page, it is create page. So we will go to our post folder and create a new file, and I am going to save this file as createc in a lowercase create dot blade dot php, create.blade.php, and hit enter. And first of all I will use a center tag, and inside this center tag I will write h1 and create a new post here. Okay, let's save it and go to browser and refresh it. Nothing changed here. Let's check it out what is happening. Oh, if we will go to our post controller, we have to return this page first. So I will write here return view, and that view will be inside post folder, and the file name is create.blade.php, a termination point. Let's save it and refresh it. Okay, great. Now it is working properly. So we will go back to our create page, and h will be in lowercase and p will be in uppercase. Let's save it and refresh it. Okay, great. Now it is working properly. So we have to create a form here. In order to create a form here, I will go to I have a link here, and I will give you link in the description. I will go to this link, and we will go to Laravel collective. We have the structure which we can use to insert a form. We have a text boxes, password, text area, file upload, checkbox, radio button, select drop down, submit button, label, whatever you need, you can have everything here. Okay, without wasting any time, we will go to here on this query which we have to run on our CMD, but this query is not working properly on my CMD, so I need to change this query, and I have changed this query. I will remove this section and space, and I will encapsulate it inside quotation and dots and another quotation. In other quotations I will write the version 5.4.0. okay, I hope it will work properly. Composer required Laravel collective /html and dots and version. Let's hit enter and let's check it out what will gonna happen. Meanwhile it is happening, I will copy this provider link. I am going to copy it, and I am going to my config folder. Inside config folder we have app.blade.php, so I will paste that here. I will go back to browser, and I have two other aliases links, so I will copy this and I will go to my browser, and I am going to paste it right here. Okay, let's save it. Let's make it in a proper, let's save it. So we will go to our create.blade.php. I will write here a container, so div and a class of container container. Inside this container class I will go to my web browser and I will copy the opening and closing tag of the form. So I am going to copy this, copy and go to browser and paste it. Okay, great. Now it is pasted successfully. I hope it will work properly. So we have to change something here. We have to use array here. So instead of URL I will write here action, and action will be post controller, and my function name which will gonna store my this form, and that is store, and method I will use method post method should be used. Okay, let's save it, and inside this form we have to use our div, and I am going to give it a class, and class name will be form control. Inside this div I will write two curly braces and a form form and two dots, and I will write label and brackets, small brackets. Inside this small brackets I will write the name of this label, which is heading heading, and the name which I want to show on the browser, and that is with capital heading heading. Okay, now we will write a text area. To use that text area I will use curly braces, I will use form again and double quotes, and that will be text. And inside that text, first of all what I have to give it the name, which is heading heading, and another thing, how I will gonna show on my browser. I want to show this text area as a blank, so I am leaving it in a blank form. Another thing which I have to use, I want to use some HTML and a placeholder. In order to do that I will use brackets. So first bracket I will write class, so I will use class, and I am going to give it a class of form control form control, and a placeholder should also be used. So I will use placeholder placeholder, and I am going to use a placeholder here. I am going to name it as right heading here. Okay, I am going to copy this div once again, and I am going to paste it once again, and this time I will write here description, and I am going to name it as description with D capital, description. Okay, now I am going to name the text area. This is also description. This time I will leave with the D in a lowercase, and this time I am going to use a text area with the T in a lowercase. Okay, let's save it, and a placeholder write description here. Okay, let's save it, and let's check it out what is happening. Okay, it is still updating composer, so I am going to minimize it, and let's save it. And another thing which we have to do is to make a submit button. So I will go to my browser to check it out, how can submit this form. Okay, this is a submit button. I am going to copy this. Okay, and I am going to my browser, and I am going to paste it right here. And this time the submit button, I want to use a class here, and the name is submit form, if I need to use a class here, I will use this bracket, and inside this bracket I will use class is equal to btn primary. Okay, let's save it and go to browser. Okay, now refresh this page. Oh, what the hell, I think the bootstrap is not working. Let's check it out in our coding. Oh, I have not included any type of layout, so I will go to show.blade.php, let's suppose, and I just need the layout here. I am copying layout and I am closing this file. Now I will paste that layout here, and another thing which I have to do is to endsection and section. Okay, let's save it. Another thing which we have to do, we have to change the div class which is form control. I have to change it to form group. Similarly, now save this and go to browser and refresh it. Okay, great. Now it looks very perfect and easy to use. Okay, now what will gonna happen if I will type here heading 3. So if I submit this form, it is taking me to a blank page. So let's work on a store function. We have to validate whether our form is empty or not. We have to validate that form. So first of all, we make some rules or regulations so that we have the filled form, not empty form, and we can also specify the number of characters, whatever you want. So first of all, I will write here this with the $sign, this arrow, and validate. This validate. So first of all, I will use this variable. So I will write here $request, the request which it gets, and then I will pass an array. This array will confirm about form submission and a termination point. Okay, inside this array we will type rules and regulations, but this is a second parameter, so I am going to place a comma here. So inside this rules and regulations, first of all, I will make rules for heading, and the rules and regulations, first of all, it is required. So it will not gonna let me submit that form again. And you can also specify the number of characters inside heading. So I am going to use this minimum number of characters. I will ask him to submit 6 and a comma, and now this time I will use validation about description. So I will use about description which is required, and another comma. So let's check it out whether our form is submitting successfully or it is going to another page or not. So I will return here something, return 1 2 3 to check it out. So I will go to my browser, and here I will try to submit this form. Let's refresh this page, and this time I will type here heading 3, and this is heading 3, and now I will submit this form. Okay, so it is returning me 1 2 3. So form is submitted successfully. So instead of returning 1 2 3, we need to first check for errors. I will go back and refresh this page, and this time if I will click on submit form, it is not allowing me to submit this form, just because we have right here that we required these fields. What about if I will try to submit this form and it show me some error? about submit this form or this field should not be empty or minimum number of characters. In order to do that, we will create a file. So I will go to my header.blade.php and I will create a new file, and I am going to save it as messages. Messages.blade.php. Okay, now save this file. So inside this file, first of all, I will check for errors. So I will check if and here condition in Laravel, if we submit the form without validating rules and regulation, it generates errors and it saved that error inside $errors. So I am going to use that $error. So I will count here errors first. Count $errors. If $errors are greater than 0, then what will gonna happen, I will return some alert for all that type of errors. Therefore I will call here for each loop, for each where errors as error, and here I will create a div first, and I am going to give it a class, and that class will be alert, danger. So inside this class I will return that error, $error. Okay, now save this. And another thing which we have to do is to check whether session is successful or it also brings error. So in order to do that, I will create another if condition, and this time I will check for session. So if session is successful, then what will gonna happen? So I will create another div and I am going to give it a class, and that class will be alert success, and this time inside this div I am going to show that session, 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 and success, SUCCESS. So it will show me whether my form is submitted successfully or not. Similarly, I will copy this if condition and I am going to paste it, and this time I will show it for errors. So if it will give me some error, alert will be danger this time. Before we save this file, I need to change this error spelling, and as you know that the errors will be greater than 0, so I will call here a function with all, and let's save it, and let's include this file. So I will go to my app.blade.php and I will include this file here. So I will type here include, and the file is in header folder, and file name is MESSAGES, messages.blade.php. Let's save it and go to browser and refresh it. Okay, great. If now I will try to submit this form, as the form is empty, so it will show some error. Great. Heading field is required and description field is required. So this is generating errors. So if I will fill these fields, heading 3 and whatever you type, this is heading 3, and now if I will enter, it is returning me 1 2 3. So it's mean that form is submitting successfully. So our messages are displaying successfully. If you remember, we were used a tinker method. So I will go here and we will go to store function, and instead of returning here, I will not gonna return here. So I will create a variable with the name of $post is equal to new post. This post is model name which we were used in other functions too. We will check the fields $post, and the field will be heading with HEADING. This is the exactly same column name we have saved in our database, is equal to $request and the input which is coming from that form, and what is the name of that input in that form which is heading with the H in a lowercase. So I am saving this, copy this line, and I am going to paste it below. This time I will use for description, and the request with R in a lowercase, it's my mistake, so I am erasing this, and input, and the input field name is also description. Okay, now as you can see, this variable is getting all the fields in the database, heading field and the description field coming from my database. Let's check it out to reduce the errors. So I will call here localhost/phpMyAdmin. We will go to our database, which is Sabri zone, and if we will go to our post, here you can see heading with H capital and description with D capital. So everything should be fine. So I will call here $post and a save function. Okay, now I have to return or redirect this page. So I will return here, return redirect, and I want to redirect it to /post and with success, which is our session, if you remember that, and another parameter which is post created, post created. This will show a message that my post is created successfully. So save it and go to browser and refresh. I will go back and refresh this page once again. Okay, unexpected syntax error on line 54. So line 54, a termination point is not here. Okay, now save it and go to browser and refresh it. If this time I will try to submit this form, heading 3, this is heading 3, and now if I will submit this form, okay, it is successfully submitted, and if you can see here, the post is submitted successfully, and you can see the post 3 heading 3 is successfully fetched here. But if I will go to my post create button and click here, we have a description field, but I want to make it more beautiful. In order to add Ck Editor here, we will go to Laravel Ck Editor and open first link, which is from GitHub. Here if we will go down, here we have a link, this link. If we will move page more upside setup package. So I will copy this setup package, and we will go to our CMD, and I am going to paste this package and hit enter. It will take some time, so I will add service provider. I am going to copy this, and I am going to sublime text here. Minimize this vendor folder first. If we will go to our config folder, where it is, here, and if we will go to app.php, inside providers we will paste this, and let's go to our browser. Here we have another thing, publish the resources. So I have to run this command in my CMD, but it is taking some time, so I may cut this video to minimize the time. Okay, it is almost completed. It is taking some time. After this completion, I will paste that query which I have copied from my browser. It is almost done. Okay, now finally it is done, and I am going to paste that query which I was copied from browser. But first check whether it is installed successfully or not. I will go to my folder which is Sabri zone. Inside vendor folder there will be a Unishort. There is a Laravel Ck Editor. This folder states that this is successfully installed. Okay, now I will paste this query. It is taking some time. Okay, let's go to browser and check it out. What is next to do? Okay, now I will copy this usage, and we will go to our sublime text, and we will go to our show app.blade.php, and I am going to paste this right here. Ckeditor dot replace, this is the main thing. I am going to copy this, and I am going to paste it. First of all, I will write id in my text area. Array is equal to that thing which I have copied, and a comma and a quotation to separate things. Okay, now we will go to app.blade.php, save this file, and we will go to our CMD. Okay, successfully installed. So I should exit this. So go to browser and refresh this page. Wow, great, successfully Ck Editor is plugged in. So let's test it. I will write here heading 4, and inside this is heading 4 is my description, R. And now if I will select 4 and I will cut it, it will be cut, but I will make it italic too. So if you want to see the source code, you can click on source. This is the source code in HTML, and if you click it again, it will become back. Okay, now I will submit this form. Okay, great. But if you can see, it is submitting the form in HTML. So I am going to back to my show.blade.php. Here all I have to do is to make 2 exclamation points at the end and at the start as well. Okay, now save this and go to browser and refresh it. Okay, great. Now it is showing me the real form of my text. As you can see, it is working successfully and Ck Editor is plugged in successfully. I hope and I wish that this lecture helped you a lot. Please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe my channel. We will meet in next lecture. Stay tuned.